Welcome back to Movies for the People. This is part 2 of Hotel Oceans 8.
You're going to do Hotel Artemis now?
No, it's your rundown.
Fuck. I just want to talk about Hotel Artemis, man. So bad.
I do too.
God.
Let's get to your rundown.
Dave Batista. It was so much fun.
Tell us.
All right, we're going to get into that. We're going to do the Conn's Hollywood rundown?
Yeah, of course.
Sweet. All right, so recently, Omar Gooding, the brother of, Cuba Gooding Jr., you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah? You familiar with him?
Oh, with Omar Gooding?
No.
Or
His
Cuba
brother.
Gooding Jr.? Yeah,
His
of
brother.
course. I know who
Okay.
Cuba is.
Well,
Everyone knows Cuba.
Okay, well, his brother Omar is kind of a fuck. He was using some heavy expletives, as they say, and he was yelling the homophobic F word, air quotes, and calls the man a retard as well.
What's the F word?
Don't look at me.
No, he looked at Moose. Is the F word?
No, Moose is looking at you.
What I do? He's not going to say the F word. He won't say fruit. Don't worry.
Hey, Moose, can you explain to Ace what the homophobic F word would be?
Here, just come whisper it in my ear. Don't say it on the podcast.
It would be the equivalent of.
Okay, we're done.
You can just cut that out.
No,
that stays.
That was perfect. That was perfect. That was comedy gold. Oh my god, that was good.
So he's kind of a douchebag is what he is. He's kind of a douchebag. So moving on from that, he sucks. Eunice Gason,
Who was he yelling this at?
Some dude. He was just, I don't know, drunk probably, just being a fuck. It's unnecessary, no matter what, man.
That's what you're starting our articles off with?
Yes.
You getting Junior's brother yelling drunk at somebody?
He's a douchebag. Life is too short to be a fuck. I'm
True.
sorry.
True.
There-
Especially to yell those type of words. at
There's
people.
too much hate in the world as it is. We just don't need that shit. And to call somebody a retard, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
That's just stupid. That's all I'm saying. It's just not nice, man. Be nice to people.
Be nice.
Be nice. Eunice Gason, she was the first ever Bond girl back in Dr. No. She died at the age of 90.
The age of 90, wow.
Yeah, had a full life, I would say, living to 90.
She's still
Pretty
hot
good.
at 90?
I don't know.
I have no
I
idea.
don't know if that's relevant anymore, bro. Like, is
she's
there
dead.
something you need to tell us?
You know?
I think she's in the ground, but
I got a show.
the grave.
Jesus. Comedian David Spade is back to his professional comedy routine after 3 days after his sister-in-law Kate Spade had died. So he's coping with comedy, I suppose. Laughter is the best medicine, after all.
Most depressed people do comedy.
And one of my favorite things out of the last week here, it pertains to your PG lover, Donald Glover, being in the running for Willy Wonka.
Oh, yeah.
I did hear about that.
Which, in my opinion, and there's a pretty good short list there, but I think that Donald Glover would be a bomb choice.
You know what? I'm happy about that because I don't know if anybody remembers a few years back, everybody wanted him to be Black Spider-Man. No.
They wanted him to be Black Spider-Man so bad that comic creators created Miles Morales in his image.
Now he
And,
gets to
and
be.
just for the record, I still want him to be Black Spider-Man.
I mean, that would still be hilarious. I'm just saying, I'll accept Black Willy Wonka.
And
How,
here's the
how
thing.
does it go again? How are we gonna perceive him?
Oh, the world doesn't care. We will still perceive him as a 13-year-old boy. That's how bad we want him as Miles Morales.
Yeah.
We would pretend this 35-year-old man is a 13-year-old boy. There just can't be no like kissing scenes.
Right, that would be weird. But I would be okay with.
Miles?
Well, what if the female lead was also his age? Do we just extend that to her and pretend that she's young too?
I think so.
Fuck it, let's do it.
I'm okay with it. But that's it. That's all I got for the Hollywood Rundown this week.
Let's talk a little bit more about that Willy Wonka thing.
Okay.
Because do you know who he's up against? It's Ryan Gosling.
I forget who the other one was. But it's the same kind of level.
It doesn't matter. It's between those two. Whoever's going to get it.
And me personally, when I think of Willy Wonka, I think of a guy that can be goofy.
But also creepy as fuck.
And Ryan Gosling...
But also cool.
Right.
Yeah.
But Ryan Gosling, the only thing that guy's good at is being sexy as fuck.
No. He's pretty good at being weird and creepy and funny. I honestly might choose him over Donald Glover.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I don't even believe that.
Have you seen Lars and the Real Girl?
No. Maybe.
He gets like a sex doll and like treats it as his girlfriend and introduces it to his family. And stuff.
Okay, but I know you've seen Donald Glover's Weirdo. And I feel
that is a stand-up special.
I get that.
That doesn't relate.
It does relate because he's weird as fuck sometimes when he's talking. He can be weird as fuck.
You're not going to go and choose against your PG lover. Don't even say that.
Okay, I'm not going to choose against either one.
He might just walk up in the room like he walked up on that church choir in This Is America.
I'm not going to choose against either one, but I would be happy with either one. I think they'll both do the role justice.
I guess the question is, where is this movie taking place?
It's a prequel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So they're rebooting the Willy Wonka franchise. So they're going to start with, like, how he makes the chocolate. And then...
So do we get to see, like, the land the Oompa Loompas come from? Is that what...
Oh, that'd be weird.
That would be groovy. I dig it. Let's do it. Let's make this happen.
I'm interested. I mean, we saw it. We saw a bit of it in the Johnny Depp.
You know who needs to direct this? Oh fuck! What is his name?
I guess you
Dude
don't know
who made
it.
Grand Budapest.
God, you always go to Grand Budapest for everything.
I'm just imagining. I've
Anything
never
that's
mentioned it on the
surreal.
podcast. For one,
No, but
only in conversation.
in conversation, you always go to that.
But the guy who directed it, I'm just imagining a Willy Wonka movie in that style. It'd be fucking crazy. Who directed it? Wes Anderson. There we go.
Thank you, Moose.
What else has Wes Anderson done?
He just made Isle of the Dogs.
Oh, I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, we
Fantastic
wanted to
Mr.
go see
Fox.
that.
I'm just imagining it with his style. That'd be fucking amazing. Just like going to the land of Oompa Loompas. Telling you that'd be the best movie of the year.
You know who does
Better than
not need
Infinity
to
War.
make that fucking movie? Tim Burton.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
As much as I love Tim Burton throughout the years, the last like 10 years of Tim Burton, I have really grown tired of.
Because it's kind of just the same thing. Expand your world a little bit, Tim. Expand your world. The only Tim Burton movie I want to see is Nicolas Cage Superman.
Fuck.
No.
I'm telling you, that would have been
No.
the best Superman movie of all
There's
time.
an alternate reality where that happened, and someone's death is directly related to that movie. Like somebody saw that movie and decided to end their life.
I'm telling you, that was like, I saw the pictures of him in the suit. It looked funny because Nicolas Cage with hair just looks funny to me. But it would have been weird. It would have been a cool Superman movie.
I don't
It
agree.
wouldn't
with
have
that.
taken itself too seriously like all the rest of them.
I mean, Superman's always been a serious character, though.
Maybe you can change it up a little bit.
I don't trust Nicolas Cage to do that.
What about a Tim Burton directed Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton reprising his role?
And Zac Efron as Terry?
No, because I still want Zac Efron in a different role.
What role?
Nightwing.
Oh, Nightwing? I can see that, yeah.
Well, then who would play Terry?
I don't know.
The man who did the voice. Will Ferrell. Or Friedel. Eric from Boy Meets World.
I know who you're talking about, but he's a little old now.
Yeah.
No, he could still do it. I saw him on Girl Meets World. He could still do it.
That's a good show. We've
he's
talked
a-
about this before, I think, but it's a good show. If you haven't seen Girl Meets World, go watch it. It's fun.
It's enjoyable if you like Boy Meets World. But we need to get back on topic.
All right. So, are we going to get into spoilers now? No, we still got to talk Hotel Artemis.
Yeah.
Shit. Dave Batista killing it again.
He did kill it.
So a few weeks ago, I remember I think it was right after Infinity War. I remember you making the joke that Dave Batista was coming for Rock's title of Best Actor out of the WWE. And honestly, I can kind of feel it after Hotel Artemis.
That was Ace that said that.
Was it?
Yes, he was the one who said that.
Okay.
And I was defending Rock's title. But man, I'm telling you, after seeing Hotel Artemis, Rock, you better fucking watch out. With Skyscraper coming out, Hotel Artemis is going to whoop your ass.
That's the thing about The Rock. He's not really that good of an actor. He just plays the same role and everything. And he tricks people into thinking he's a good actor. A lot of actors do it, don't worry. Matthew McConaughey does it.
I feel like it's not his fault.
Don't fuck with Matthew McConaughey.
Name one
I feel like
movie
it's not-
where Matthew McConaughey was like completely different than. give me one movie where he's not like, oh yeah, you know I'm Matthew McConaughey. All right. It's either businessman Matthew McConaughey with AIDS, thief Matthew McConaughey, evil Dark Tower Matthew McConaughey.
Don't forget football coach Matthew McConaughey.
Football coach Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey ain't shit.
Man.
I don't.
And he beat Leo. And I will never live that down. Leo deserved the Oscar for Wolf of Wall Street. And they gave it to Matthew McConaughey because of some AIDS movie. Bullshit.
Same could be said about Denzel winning it for Training Day.
Denzel winning it for Training Day?
Didn't he win it for Training Day?
Probably.
Sean Penn should have won it that year.
For what?
What was that?
I Am Sam.
Probably, yeah.
Much better movie.
Denzel's kind of the same character in every movie.
What about Matthew McConaughey in Reign of Fire?
Never seen it.
Of course you haven't.
What happens
I
in it?
honestly haven't seen
Is
it.
Matthew McConaughey doing some crazy stuff? I want
Yeah.
to. Has Matthew McConaughey been in a movie where he didn't have his southern draw?
Ed TV.
Kubo.
What did you say?
Kubo with the 2 strings.
He was in that?
Yeah.
Who was he in that?
I don't know. I just saw it.
I bet you he's got a southern draw.
Ed TV.
I don't know what that is.
No, you should watch it. He did use it at one point just kind of as a gag, but
All I'm saying, Matthew McConaughey overrated. We took a long time to say that, but he is.
You took a long time to say that.
yeah, you took a long time.
I
to
told
say
you
it.
that in the beginning, and you wanted to research it or rebuke my. He's the Beetle?
Yeah, he's the Beetle in Kubo.
He's the Beetle?
And Kubo was fun. I
The
enjoyed
look
that
on
movie.
your face.
Well, I never finished Kubo.
I'm just saying the look on your face when you found that out made it look like it challenged everything you believed about Matthew McConaughey.
Well,
All
no,
right.
because I was trying to think back to the
So,
movie.
what? Back on Hotel Artemis,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts and expectations going into the movie?
Bro, that's what we were talking about. My thoughts going in, this is going to be an action-packed fucking hard-hitting, amazingly acted movie. And it wasn't. But we'll get into that in a second. Droid, your thoughts and expectations.
I mean, I agree with most of that. I definitely thought there was going to be more action than there was.
Yeah.
I think the acting was great, honestly. I thought that... I think we'll get more into that. I'm not even going to... I had to stop myself from spoiling something right now.
I liked it all the way through. I said that last night before we ran into...
Fritz,
yeah.
Ran into Fritz last night. Very, very interesting dude with a lot of interesting perspectives on life. And I think it generally really rad dude. But I liked the movie. I thought it was fun all the way through. The acting was great. The tempo for me I thought was done really well. You bounce from one character to the next, kind of getting their story rapidly. The pace changes with each scene change. From you could be with Honolulu and Waikiki, and then you jump back to Nurse, and then you could go to Everest and Acapulco, and it just kind of bounces from how that character flows with that character, and the pace just changed, I thought, very flawlessly, and it was smooth in its transitions and everything. I thought the acting was good. I enjoyed it a lot. I loved the movie. I'm not afraid to say it, and I definitely recommend that people should go see it.
I may have sounded a little harsh earlier. I really liked the movie, and the acting was really great. It just was a little slow. Like, if they would have threw like maybe one or two more action scenes in it, just somewhere in the middle, I think it could have kept up that pacing a little bit better.
I don't think that it needed it, though, because of the way the story was building up to the arrival of Niagara. As the story surrounded around his arrival to Hotel Artemis.
Right.
But, I mean, the whole story surrounded around his imminent arrival.
Yeah.
As the story played out, you learn about the pen that you see in the trailer and the meaning behind that pen and who the pen belonged to and the severity of stealing from that man.
Right.
You know, it everything led to that. I thought they did a really good job building the story, the plot, everything up to that culmination. I thought they did good.
While we're on that, I think the only thing that really disappointed me, I just feel like there were so many questions that I guess for the sake of the movie itself don't need to be answered, but, you know, I would like to know how certain characters' relationships with each other, you know, play out. How the world got into the state it's in. Like, everything that's happening is just like isolated in the hotel in a much bigger event. And I really wish we had gotten a lot more of that world building to know how things got to be in the state where they are.
Like a Thanos-esque backstory sort of thing.
Kind of. I mean, I feel like Thanos's was something you could do quick. Like, what put him on that path.
Right.
But he's just one person, you know. We have all of these different characters who we've given varying degrees of importance. And, you know, I like to know how certain people got to the hotel.
That's the same sort of thing I was saying with Bad Samaritan a few weeks back, is a little bit of explanation into the background story.
Right.
Would just make the movie, it would have more of an impact.
Yeah, I did.
And I
definitely think so.
I completely agree with what you're saying there, 100%. I just want to throw that out there.
I appreciate that.
I really think that just Charlie Day's character kind of ruined it for me. I love Charlie Day. I think
he's a fantastic dude.
He's funny as hell. I don't like what he's trying to do lately, trying to make himself into like a... I don't know what he's trying to... He destroyed Pacific Rim 2. Like, he was horrible in that movie.
He was terrible.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. When he became the big bad guy.
Damn. I didn't know.
It,
I haven't seen it, so.
You haven't seen it yet?
I know.
Listen here. Don't go see it.
You can wait for it to hit Netflix and watch it there.
Okay.
That's the only place you should watch it.
But it's a... Pacific Rim was really good.
Okay.
Right? We can agree on that?
Yeah.
Pacific Rim 2 was like barely good.
Okay.
And had Charlie Day's character not ruined so many scenes in that movie, I think that it would have been better.
That being said, I did like this character better than that character, but I don't really like Charlie Day in that role.
Well, I don't know if it was Charlie Day or the character, because that character was definitely a character you weren't supposed to like.
Well, I don't mean as like a likable person. I mean as like, I didn't enjoy him being on the screen. Like, I didn't like the acting. I didn't like the way he delivered his lines.
I don't think that was a character for Charlie Day.
Exactly.
I think you could have maybe like flipped him and Zachary around.
Yeah. See, that would have been perfect.
And that to me would have been a better casting for that role.
Okay, I can see that.
I can buy into him more as that badass weapons dealer.
Well, that's because pretty much, I mean, as far as I know, most of the roles that I've seen him in, he's kind of been a bit of a badass.
He's fucking Spock.
He's Spock.
Yeah, Spock is kind of a badass.
Yeah.
He's fucking, if you haven't seen Heroes, he's fucking Siler. Siler's fucking badass.
Yeah. And without spoiling, his character too much, I don't think his character, he was the best fit for his role. I really think a role reversal would have done justice.
I can see that.
Flip those two, it was perfect.
And
it really did seem weird looking at Zachary the whole time. It was just kind of like a little bit.
Yeah, he was. And that's kind of, to me, that's what Charlie Day is. He's a little bitch, but he's funny though.
Hilarious.
And he can play that little bitch so well, and he does a great job in those roles. But to have him playing a badass, no.
I say Charlie Day for Willy Wonka.
That could work. That could work.
I don't know.
All right. Can we stop beating around the fucking bush and get into some fucking spoilers?
Let's fucking do it.
Let's fucking do it. If you have not seen Hotel Artemis and Oceans 8, please pause your shit right now. Go check these movies out. And then jump back on us and push play. And I said it like that on purpose.
All right, let's get into these fucking spoilers. We're starting with Ocean's 8. Thoughts?
Loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean,
It was really...
I have to stop you there. Let me get this off my chest and explain how I did before that these are way too fucking similar of movies. The very beginning, how does Ocean's 11 start out?
Danny getting out of jail.
Sitting in the chair, trying to, get his parole. He's giving
Right.
his little speech. And, that could just be used as, like, a little nod.
right.
No. Then he goes and meets up with his bestie,
Rusty.
Rusty. What happens in this one? She just goes right up and meets up with her bestie. And then they got to put a team together because they explain the job and they know what they got to do. So they get that job and they get it all set up. They get all their people. Oh no. Ocean's 11. He's not just in this to get the money. What is he in this for? Oh, he's going to set up his ex-wife. Oh no. Ocean's 8. She's not in this just for the jewels. She's going to also set up her boyfriend.
He wasn't setting up his ex-wife though.
It was to get his ex-wife back. Sorry.
Right.
Same thing. They even have the same exact scene where they're like, no. And the best friend pulls him out of the building. You told me this was a serious job. Literally the same thing. Goes through.
She didn't get pulled out of the building. She was out watching the waves.
Okay. Same scene where they're outside.
Either
It
way.
might have been the same place.
Okay,
I'm
so
thinking about it in my mind.
There's a lot of similarities. I will give you that.
It's like episode 7 to episode 4.
And episode 1.
And episode 1.
I mean, they're all basically the same story.
I mean, they're not blowing up a ship in episode 1.
No, but the rest of the story, it's all basically the same stuff. Rinse and repeat. New generation. Rinse and repeat. New generation. Rinse and repeat. New generation.
I don't know about all that.
What do you think happens in episode 9?
In episode 9,
Yeah.
they lose.
Who loses?
The good guys.
Who dies?
Everyone that we think is going to live. And then you remember that kid at the end with the broom?
Yeah.
He's going to be
sweeping
the hero of
He's
episode
sweeping up
10.
Parker's ashes.
But yeah, it's just really, it's very similar. It doesn't take away from it being a good movie, but it's not as good as 11.
I feel like I mean, and this is not knowing whether or not we'll get a sequel because, I mean, it was a pretty close ending. But I feel like I can excuse the plots for being very similar because I think they made a point to show that this was a cyclical. Like, it's a cycle. She's doing the same things her brother did because, she's like, oh, it was in his blood. And the parole officer's like, was it in your blood? And she's like, no, I just want the simple life. This is what their family does. Even, what?
If you watched Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 13, you'll get that feeling that it is a family thing. And it's not just the Ocean family. There's another family involved in it, too.
You can have them doing the same thing without going through the same plot points.
No.
Now, if this was the same director that did Ocean's 11, then he would have made a different story. But this was some new guy who wants to, who loves Ocean 11 and wants to put his dick in it. So he...
Jeez.
Wow.
It's a little much.
Yeah,
A little much there. A little
good.
graphic. No need to be shoving your dick in Ocean's 8.
I'm just saying that if say we get a new trilogy, 8, 9, 10, I would be really pissed off if the plot was very similar for all of them. But I can be okay with 8 having a similar plot to 11 if the stories are very different for the next two.
I can as well. That's why I said I don't mind this movie. I think it was good. It's definitely not as good as 11, but it's still a good movie, and you should go see it. I'm just saying, it's the same plot. And I pointed it out to you guys. So now you know.
Okay.
All right. All right,
Now
fine.
you know.
All right.
I'm going to let you guys watch it, but you're going to be sitting there like, well, fuck.
I knew going into it that it's going to be a lot of similarities. I was okay with knowing and going into it that there was going to be a lot of similarities between 8 and 11. And I was hoping going into it that they're going to make it a trilogy and they have a planned trilogy out. And to what Droid was saying, I hope that they kind of change it up from there, plot-wise and whatever else. Then it's not just, here's 11, 12, and 13. We're just going to mirror it with 8, 9, and 10.
Right.
And have it just all female versus all male. I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic movie. I thought it was fun. Acting was great all the way through. Everybody, even Rihanna.
I was really proud of her. I'm not gonna lie.
I was too.
The whole time I was like, good for you.
As soon as she said her first line, I was a little worried. But then, I slowly eased in. I was like, yeah, you go, girl. And then when she put on that dress, I was like, damn.
Damn.
Yeah, she pulled that off.
Yeah. Even Moots' head is shaking, and he likes dudes in dresses.
But yeah, like I was saying, I really like heist movies, and I think this was a really good one because I think like the nature of a heist movie is that it's predictable because you always know there's something that's going to go wrong from this plan that they have.
Yeah.
But you're always wondering how they're going to address that problem. And, I mean, at the end of this one, it was like, fuck what you thought. We had a whole other plan. And that plan blew the first one out of the water. We can steal all the jewels.
So, one thing, I know that you got a busy week coming for you. Going to E3.
It's going to be great. I'm going to die.
But if you can find time, maybe on a flight or something of that nature, watch Den of Thieves.
Okay.
I don't think you will be disappointed.
I did mean to watch that and just got out of theaters before I got around to it.
It came out in the softest part of the year and really wasn't in theaters for very long. It was good, though.
Okay.
As a heist movie fan, I think you'll enjoy that one.
I'll have to take a look at it. I definitely have some free time, so.
Yeah. I'll watch it too.
All right. Right after you watch Oceans 12 and 13.
And Sicario and John Wick 1 and 2.
And Equalizer.
And Equalizer.
It's all right. We got full plates around here. We eat.
That we do.
All right. Is there any other spoilers that you want to really talk about?
How about the 2 cameos?
And by that, you were talking about the Asian dude, Yen? Jin?
Yeah.
Was it Jin?
What was his name in the movie?
I think it was Jin.
No. God. How about Ruben?
That's the old dude, right?
Yep, that's the old dude.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
He's just fun. It was just a fun nod to kind of tie the 2 worlds together.
Yeah. Technically, there's three cameos in the movie, Jin, the old dude, and the plot.
Alright, his fucking name is not Jin.
I'm pretty sure it's Jin.
Are you just saying that because, like, he's Asian and that's the first thing that popped in your head?
No, I think that's what it is. It's like Yin or Jin or something like that.
Okay.
If it's not, I might just be a racist.
You might just be.
Pretty sure you are.
Definitely an idiot.
Yen.
See? I told you it was somewhere around there.
That's a pretty big difference.
Jin? I said Jin or Yin?
You missed half
Yen.
You missed 2/3 of the name. It's 3 letters and you missed 2 of them.
I'd never seen it written. All I heard was him talking it. It could have been Yin or Yen. Jen.
So, anyway, what do you think of the 2 cameos?
They're cool. I didn't really think the Asian dude was that impressive.
I guess you need to watch Oceans 12 and Oceans 13.
I didn't think he was that impressive in 8.
Why?
He was just climbing on the things.
Can you go climb on the thing? No, you can't. That makes it impressive.
You know what we need to do one day? We need to save this and set up a laser room one day. And we would just put it on YouTube.
He ain't going to be doing yen, though. He's going to be doing fucking entrapment with fucking Catherine Zeta-Jones. And his ghetto booty up in the air.
Oh, shit.
Since you want to talk shit.
Listen, it was... He just hung down and grabbed the stuff.
There was a lot of flexibility going on when he was climbing across that ceiling.
It wasn't as, like... There wasn't as much suspense as there was in Ocean's 11.
I'll tell you why there wasn't suspense in that moment. Because at that point, we had already known that he succeeded.
True.
And we didn't know he was in this movie until the moment he showed up in the
So it was
scene.
like, kind of like, what was the point in even put him in there?
God damn it, man. Did you eat your negative Nancy pills tonight?
This is my review. I just didn't find it like a cool of a scene. I was like,
God,
oh, cool.
I thought it was awesome.
I liked the idea that they had robbed a bunch of other stuff and took that.
Robbed a bunch of other stuff? Are you talking about the plot from Ocean's 11?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about the rest of the jewelry and everything from the exhibits?
All the jewelry.
Made you had to think about that one a little bit.
I just realized what you asked me. Oh, man.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, but I liked that they took all the jewelry and stuff, all the extra jewelry. Like, that was cool, but I didn't really care about seeing the scene of how they did it. I just feel like it was done in a very...
That's the whole point of the Ocean's
feel
movies.
like it
They
was-
break it down and they explain it.
Right.
It was done in a very boring way.
It was not.
It's 2018. Maybe that, early 2000s, that shit would have flown. Not in 2018. We just had half of our superheroes die. We expect top-notch shit in our movie theaters.
Kind of like that kid fucking coming running out of the theater after Ocean's 8, and he's all like pissed off about Avengers, and he's like, "Do not fucking go and see this fucking movie. I can't believe I wasted my fucking time and money on this shit. What the fuck?"
The way he slammed that car doors, I can't. Just,
Fucking full-on tantrum from a fucking teenage boy.
he might have been in his early 20s.
Maybe.
All I fucking know.
Yeah. But that was still a good movie overall.
God damn it. Okay.
I'm pointing out the bad.
I know.
I point out everything. You gotta,
I know.
That's what you got to do. You can't just
I
give them the
know.
good. You can't just give them the bad. You got to give them everything. You got to give them everything.
You gotta give him everything.
Sorry, I'm a little hungover. Went to the bar with Fritz. We was just picking up some ladies. We took him back to his place.
Droid, what do you think of Ocean's 8?
Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I expected it to be good. I like heist movies. I really like the fact that... So the entire time I'm just kind of sitting there waiting for something to go wrong because something's got to go wrong. And I'm like, what's going to go wrong? How are they going to fix this problem? And I feel like, honestly, at almost every turn, there was like a little thing that went wrong. Like when they finally got the necklace. Well, hell, when they got to the vault with the necklace and, she didn't have a signal for the glasses to get an image of them.
Right.
And, when they got it out of the vault and they're trying to get it on... What was Anne Hathaway's character?
Oh, God. I fucking forget.
They're trying to put it on her neck. And, they take it off and security guys like, you can only do it with this special magnet. And you're like, how the fuck does that happen? Daphne Kruger. That was her name. Thank you, Moose. Kluger? Okay.
With an L.
All right. So, when they were trying to get the necklace off of her neck, Then there's the stuff that happened when they're at the Met Gala. There was I don't know how to say that. They specifically said it in the movie because
That's because
Gala.
Is it?
who was it that purposely butchered it? Was it it Lou?
It's the chick with all the
No, it wasn't Lou. It was
the chick with all the items. Who bought everything.
Tammy.
Tammy.
Sarah Paulson.
Yeah, Tammy.
Butchering Met Gala.
Yeah, she purposely butchered the Met Gala. Gala, I think she called it, to just kind of make her character forgettable as she was getting in to her position for her role in the heist.
Or is it Gala? And that was why she called it Gala, but the chick is stupid and called it Gala.
I don't know.
I'm not rich and fancy. I think it's Gala though. Gala.
Somebody comment and give us the phonetic pronunciation.
Yeah.
I'm not Googling it.
I'm not
We've
Googling
got
that
we've
shit.
got our internet guy.
No, I'm waiting for a listener to comment it. Show us you love us.
Show us that you're listening.
Hey, yeah, I definitely plan on watching it again, which I think is saying something. Because I'm generally against watching things over because I'm weird and I feel like if I'm watching something over, I'm missing out on something else. So for me to say that I'll watch it over, I think that's pretty good.
I think that this movie by itself has some replay value in it. Just between the chemistry, the acting, the story, no matter how ripped off it is.
It's a fact. I'm just pointing it out.
I know.
Don't be mad. Don't kill the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. That's the saying. Don't shoot me, motherfucker.
I won't. You're my boy. No, I seriously though, I think that there's replay value in that movie. The all female cast did a fucking great job. I won't even say that Ghostbusters left a sour taste in my mouth. I won't even say that. Ghostbusters was just forgettable. If you've never seen the new Ghostbusters, don't fucking watch it. It's my advice.
That's good. I'm happy I took that advice.
I've never seen it either.
Don't. The best part about that whole fucking movie is Chris Hemsworth in it.
I thought it was Chris Pine, wasn't it?
No,
Was it
Chris
Hemsworth?
Hemsworth.
Oh.
I thought it
Chris
was
Pine.
Liam Hemsworth. The younger brother? Isn't
No.
he? Oh,
It's Chris.
okay.
Huh.
He's got the best parts in that whole movie.
That's just because you want to fuck him.
He still has the best parts in the whole movie. The movie itself is crap. It's total trash.
All right. Yeah. I agree. I really like this movie. I mean, before I even had watched Ocean's 11, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a great movie. I fuck with this. But then I went and watched Ocean's 11 and saw the whole, similarities.
See, I like that the whole movie was based around them heisting the necklace.
Yeah.
Which they did. And then you find out that there was a little bit more that they took along the way.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a nice little twist.
But what I honestly thought was really interesting about that is that I don't know much about jewelry, but there's a scene where they're first walking in and they show like all the crown jewels that are like featured on display, and there's this necklace that is like way bigger than what they plan on stealing. It's like basically like cover a woman's entire chest.
Right.
Well, it's
Just
the cut of the
giant
diamonds and all that.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know jewelry, but I was like, I feel like that's worth a lot. I feel like that should be worth more than what they're stealing, but maybe I'm wrong, and I'm obviously wrong. But I was like, why don't we steal all that stuff? And then they did.
But
So I was happy.
that's why it was a nice misdirection within the movie and the story. And you create panic by stealing the necklace that
Right.
they're intending to take, and everybody's focused on that. And then here they come in with Yen or Min or Jack or whatever his name was, right?
Right. Well, it's just like what was it last week? I think you brought up Swordfish.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. You know, everybody's looking somewhere else, even the viewer.
Right.
And that's what makes it so good.
Yeah. It's that whole misdirection piece. And I liked that. I liked that a lot. I thought that brought a nice little tidbit to the movie. I thought that really brought it together. I've done nothing but praise this movie. I'm sorry. I don't have anything bad to say.
I'm really trying to, because even the scene with Yen, I didn't personally care about, even knowing now that he was from the originals, which I assumed. I just didn't really find it that entertaining. But other than that, I really can't find stuff to dislike about this movie.
Yeah, I can't really find anything.
It's a solid B+ movie.
I would be good with a B+ rating for this movie.
Like a B to a B+.
I think that a B+ is quite fair. I also think that had you watched the entire trilogy prior to this, that with the character development and buy-in that you get from the original crew, having those two cameos, I think, would mean a little bit more to you.
Maybe if I would have watched them when they were big too. I feel like these movies were really big at a time, and when a certain movie's big, it's like watching 20 years from now when Marvel isn't as big as it was, and watching them. They're the Marvel movies, but you're not in tune to that hype that's around them.
That's understandable.
I get that. That makes sense.
But I think, yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I think we should get on to our next movie, though.
Hotel Artemis.
Hotel Artemis.
Dave Batista.
He's a healthcare professional.
He is a fucking healthcare professional, and that
both
knowledge
ways.
goes both ways.
Oh man!
When he said, "And don't grab my neck again, because I'll fuck you up," like the way he said that,
He's like, "I'll fuck you up for real this time." I loved how easy it was. For a second, I thought, hey, maybe this is gonna be that shitty moment where they played us with the trailers and they're about to kill him off in the first 10 minutes, and all of a sudden it was like, what is this dude doing? Are you really trying to choke me out right now?
This dude's like a fucking quarter of the size of Dave Batista too.
It was hilarious. He just slowly pulled him off and threw him.
It'd be like fucking Ace trying to go and choke out Batista. That
Pretty
shit ain't
much.
happening. That shit
I think I
is
could
not
take him.
happening.
I don't know. I mean,
If I could
dude
see
was
him.
small, but he was also a hardened criminal. You are not. I'm sorry, you're not.
You could go
don't
hang
think
out
I-
with
You don't think I could check him out?
you hang out with Fritz, you might learn a thing or two about choking someone out though.
Yeah.
Can we not let Fritz become the new Gabrielle Union?
Oh no, he won't become the new Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union will not lose her joke stance on this show with booty references.
Did we talk about Fritz? Do we need to let the listeners know
We already
about
talked
Fritz?
about Fritz.
We briefly talked about Fritz.
Okay.
We don't need to talk about Fritz. No
Okay,
more.
just
He's a homeless man. Let him live
he's
his
a
life.
colorful homeless man loving life, watching movies.
He just loves life, man.
I do love that he, is a homeless man who goes and just watches movies and chills in movie theaters. I respect that. He's like, one thing I always loved was movies. I can respect that shit.
D&D and movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got tattoos on his feet to say "fuck shoes."
Fuck shoes.
Yeah, I really like Hotel Artemis. I just really, really wish. I wish we got a franchise out of it, so we could get the development for these different characters. Because I feel like just seeing the different jobs that, you know, Waikiki had with his brother to lead up to this, and his relationship with Nice, you know.
Nice.
I feel like there's so much we can get out of that world.
Well, at the very end, when Nurse was talking to Waikiki, she said to go somewhere.
To Vegas.
Vegas, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of like maybe a shot in the dark reference to another place.
Well, yeah, she said it's like another black room. I think
Yeah.
That's what she called it.
So there's an outside chance that maybe we could get a franchise out of it, a trilogy or something similar to that of
John Wick.
John Wick, like the TV show that they've been talking about making, where it's based around the hotel there.
That's kind of really what this reminded me of.
But also The Purge.
Oh yeah.
Same similar thing. It takes place, throughout the country.
Okay.
Different areas, and maybe if we can get to a point where this movie does something good, we could get a second one.
Right.
And then maybe we could go to a prequel type, kind of like this new Purge will be.
I don't know. I mean, since we're on that, I have to ask how you felt. It was because we went, and it was in probably the smallest theater they had.
One of, not the smallest, but it's one of the smaller ones. The smallest ones are like right there before you take that left turn.
Right.
And they're on that right side there. Those are the smallest ones. Those are fucking tiny as shit.
Yeah, so it's a super small theater. I don't think many people knew about it because, I mean, we didn't have many people around.
I didn't know about it until Ace was talking about it
Right.
a month and a half ago, and he's like, dude, have you seen this trailer for Hotel Artemis? And I'm like, no, what the fuck's Hotel Artemis? And he's like, oh, dude, you got to check this shit out.
The trailer was great.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't bring in more people. And, I mean, looking here, 56% on Metacritic, 6.3 on IMDb, and 58 on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was like, I don't know if that's good enough to permit more. I mean, yeah, we'll be looking at box office numbers, but
Right. I don't think they put enough money into the marketing for this movie.
I agree.
I can agree with that.
And the few trailers that I saw, a lot of it was driven towards Sterling K. Brown's character.
Yeah.
I felt like,
Which is frustrating because, I mean, it's about him, but he's really just a plot device.
right.
He
And-
gets us to the hotel.
And I mean, he's kind of a known dude. He really got
He just won the Emmy for Best Actor. He's on one of the biggest shows on television. He was in Black Panther.
right. And I mean, he's kind of a known dude, but he's not leading man, like household name.
No.
I don't need to promote the shit out of this fucking movie.
No.
He's going to be a box office draw.
They needed to have better promotion. And like you said, you just saw the trailer like a month ago because I showed you the trailer.
Right.
Which I had just seen.
Yeah.
And we stay pretty up to date on this kind of stuff.
Right.
Their promotion wasn't there. And if they don't get the return, that's all on the studio. Like,
Completely agree.
I feel like this was perfectly casted to bring in every type of audience. It had people for Marvel fanatics. It had the Housewives with Sterling K. Brown. It had Charlie Day comedy people, action people, nerds who like Jeff Goldblum.
Charlie Day, Dave Batista.
It had everyone. It was perfectly casted.
Yeah.
Which you don't usually get with a movie.
No,
This was casted to bring in everyone.
And
they
the
just
only
did it
thing that
brilliantly.
I saw in a flaw with the casting, and I said it earlier, was we could have had a flip between Zachary Quinto's character and Charlie Day's character and just flip those two.
Perfect casting.
Recast them that way. And I think you're golden. I think that the Acapulco character would have been a lot better fit for Zachary Quinto. I can buy into him in that I'm a gun smuggling, gun dealing, badass motherfucker.
I think
instead of a bitch son.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with that is just we start to see actors in certain kinds of roles, and it's so hard to see them outside of those roles after a certain time.
That is true.
Charlie Day's been on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
And been the same character, and then he was like that in movies too. So now he's trying to do this other stuff, and you can't really see him like that. Zachary Quinto's been a badass for about 10, 12 years.
Right.
Since he kind of burst onto the scene.
So I think that kind of hurts for both of them. Because, like, I really, really wanted Zachary Quinto to be a badass. Like, when they call him on the phone and they're like, oh, the Wolf King's coming, you know, you need to hold a room for him.
Yeah.
And she's like, we can't do that. And he's like, fine, I'll come fucking do it for you.
Yeah, and he was portrayed as this badass motherfucker.
And I could tell as soon as he answered the phone. Do you know who my father is? As soon as that word came out of his mouth, I was like, "This dude's a bitch."
He never said, "Do you know who my father is?" He never said that.
You know who my father is.
No, he never.
He said something along those lines.
This is exactly what happened. He called, she hung up. He called, she hung up. He said his name. Hell, I don't even think he said his name because
she said something about his boss.
Right, and then she's like, he's not my boss, he's my father. So he never dropped the, do you know who my father is?
He had some line that's the typical, I'm a rich boy.
Right.
He had some, I'm a rich boy.
And it was just disappointing that he turned out to be just, a bitch. He was the Fredo of the Suns. You don't get that reference, do you, Ace? Oh. But he was the Fredo of the Suns.
That's another thing. We don't know how many sons there were.
No, we don't know.
I think they're definitely planning on this having sequels. And they honestly probably could do it. This doesn't seem like a movie that had a huge budget.
No. I'm not sure what the budget was.
There's a lot of big actors. That's probably where most of it went.
Yeah. Because,
there wasn't, a lot of CGI shit.
Yeah, but even the big-name actors, right? They're not really, the big draw.
True.
Jodie Foster, obviously you know her from any number of movies.
Right. The entire time, I just appreciated her demeanor.
I did too.
You could really tell she was putting a lot into that shuffle kind of limp deal she had going.
She was perfect.
She was really playing the hell out of being this old kind of hard-working old lady who doesn't really give a shit about anybody.
She did really good. I think the way they portrayed her son's death was amazing. How they showed him as a kid running to the water, and then they showed the needle, then they showed the dead body.
Yeah.
She's broken.
Right.
And you slowly learn that throughout her character's arc. You learn that she is broken, and you learn why she's broken. You learn how she became broken.
And that's why when the Wolf King says that he killed her son,
right,
you feel weight for that because you actually had a backstory for her, unlike anybody else in the movie.
And even the Wolf King, I would have taken a backstory because he's the one who funded the hotel.
Right.
He owns it. And I feel like it was really interesting because when she finds out that he killed her son, he's like, the rules, when you steal from me, I got to return you to the sea. And I'm just like, I didn't think about that until after the movie, and I'm sitting here, I'm just like, all of the rooms in Hotel Artemis, other than his room, are named after like coastal places, like islands, and places on coasts, and that and Everest, the orderly Dave Batista. I was like, I feel like there's something more to that.
He was a healthcare professional.
Orderly is what orderly is what the tag said. His was Niagara. No, yeah. But it's not really like does Niagara Falls go to the ocean? So, I mean, I guess a large body of water.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. I was like, I really feel like there's some significance there that we just don't get. And it bugs me because I just feel like there's so much more they could have given us. I really wanted them to expand on Waikiki and Niece's relationship, like what happened between them before.
Right. All you get is a couple of hints dropped, and that was it.
And you know what really bugged me? This is really, really annoying to me. People kept calling Waikiki by his real name. Multiple people, both Niece and his brother, called him by his real name multiple times. And in the credits, he's still Waikiki. And that just bugged the hell out of me. Because his name was Sherman.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Well, I mean, that's his brother who's dying.
Right, I get that.
But Niece. Yeah.
And I mean, Niece obviously was close to him at some point. Like,
they were lovers, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing, when he's like, you drew a line I couldn't cross. And then later on, when she's doing her little standoff in the hallway, and she's like, don't cross my fucking line. I was like, there has to be significance to that, and we just don't get it.
Right.
Because they didn't give it to us.
Is there an old movie we haven't seen that this is?
Is this one of those, like, hey, we're going to make a sequel and not tell anybody it's a sequel?
Man, I don't know. I'm starting to think there's a fucking possibility.
We need to look back at Jodie Foster's repertoire.
And, like, the police officer, I mean, she was cool, but honestly, she's kind of a useless character in that movie. Like, she could have not been in the movie.
She was a very useless character, but she helped with the nurse's story.
I agree with that, but at the same time, I don't. And the reason I say that is because you could have taken her out of the movie completely, and we still would have found out about the Wolf King killing her son.
I don't think we would have.
Well, we would have, because she never says anything to him about her son or the police officer. The only reason he says something is because he's hopped up on drugs.
But the only reason why she would have ever caught that in the first place was because she was so off at her fucking self the way it was.
I feel like
if she was triggered by that police officer showing up, needing help, and then saying, her son's name and her name and everything else, it triggered everything. It was a trigger mechanism for her.
Well, then he said the son's name.
Well, I know that he did. And that I still don't think that she would have caught that had she not just been so triggered.
I feel like she would have, because
she was dwelling so much on everything, and she was reliving and rehashing everything that she dealt with 20-some years prior. I don't think that she would have necessarily caught that had she not been so triggered by that cop's arrival.
I think she would have, because from what we saw, she's a very detail-oriented person. I mean, she's saving people's lives. She's got to be paying attention to certain things. As
she's following where everybody is walking. She keeps track of everyone that's in there. She's paying attention to everything all at once.
And if she was completely, like, at that point, she was pretty much hysterical. I feel like if she was completely, if her train of thought was completely on track, she definitely would have caught him saying that.
Maybe.
I just feel like, now that I think about it a little bit, this movie kind of reminds me of Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight, yep.
Yeah, this movie kind of reminds me of the Hateful Eight. Just a bunch of people in a situation, that you think they're all randomly in this situation, and then it turns out they're not all randomly in this situation. The movie is okay. The world is very impressive with this movie, and I feel like we need more, and
Definitely.
I want to see more.
I absolutely agree with that.
I feel like, Quentin Tarantino did it a little bit better, but that's Quentin Tarantino.
Tarantino's so fucking good, though, man.
Maybe we just show this movie to Quentin Tarantino and be like, hey, you should make a sequel to this. Or a prequel, or whatever you want to do. Just make it in the same world.
And
I'm waiting for Star Trek. I don't want.
But you think about where Tarantino started. His movies weren't so widely known about in the beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
I think one of the first movies I saw of his was Reservoir Dogs. I think was one of the first ones I ever saw. And I was instantly hooked. I just loved his storytelling, the direction that he would take in his movies, the characters, the arcs that each character manages to get in most of his movies. You can't even get a proper story arc for one or two fucking characters in a movie, let alone a full fucking cast of them. The writing job that he does, everything that he puts into his movies is just great. And I think that Drew Pearce did a fucking great job with this, writing and directing this movie here.
Is he a pretty new guy?
He's done some producer work. No, he's just done some TV shorts and video shorts up until Hotel Artemis. So it's really his first big gig.
For his first big movie, he fucking killed it.
Definitely. I mean, if he didn't, I wouldn't want more.
And I think that the dude did a fucking fantastic job. I really do. I hope that it does well enough that we get more. Maybe he can turn out to have a career kind of like Tarantino. Starting with the likes of Reservoir Dogs. Then you get your Pulp Fiction, your Jackie Brown, your Kill Bills, Sin City. He did a little work in on that.
Supposedly,
Grindhouse, Death Proof.
All of his movies are in the same universe.
Right.
And if this guy can do that same shit and just have a whole bunch of movies in this universe, I'm sold.
And I mean, he's got the makings for it to work. I think he's got that same sort of universe that he can build off of.
Yeah.
We just need to get the people to go see this movie and support this movie so we can get more and hopefully get into more of a backstory of, like Droid was saying, how the fuck did this world come to be the way that it is? How did Everest end up there?
Yeah.
I get
kind
that.
of talked about that.
I get that Nurse saved him at some point.
Yeah.
I get that. But how? I want to know.
You know what? I just, because you brought up Everest, I was thinking about this when we were watching the movie. There's a scene where Quinto and those guys blow up the gate mechanism.
Yeah.
And Batista's talking to him, and if you're paying attention, a little bit of an accent starts coming out. He's like, I don't know if he has an accent.
He doesn't. He did that for, he had that the whole movie.
He doesn't. He says specific words with that accent, but he starts speaking with that accent when he's starting to get pissed off in that scene. And I was like, that's a nice touch. I really enjoy that. Like, if you go back and look at it, it's like, I really, really... That's what made me think Batista's coming for that title of Best Actor of the WWE.
He is.
It's a short list.
It's a very short list.
3?
First off. No, there's a handful or so.
There's like 7.
Who else is there?
Well, they're all like... WWE like straight to USA movies.
Yeah.
We're only counting the big three here.
Okay.
If you didn't have a movie in the theaters this year, you don't count.
Oh, all right.
Big three then. Who's the other one?
John Cena.
Oh, yeah.
Cena.
I forgot about Cena. God damn
And
it.
he's definitely at the bottom.
What? You're all high and mighty on his blockers.
The problem
You know what
is they
happened.
advertise John Cena in movies, and then you go to the theaters and he's not there.
He might
Right.
be good in Bumblebee.
If he's in the movie.
He is. He's in the trailer.
Was he?
Yeah, for like a fourth of a second.
Oh my God.
I saw him. I don't care what John Cena says. I saw his ass.
I don't know if I believe that. But okay.
Anyways, enough of that.
To end it all off, go see Hotel Artemis.
Go see it,
Yeah,
please.
we agree. Everybody agrees. Go see it in the damn theater.
Support it.
And then buy it.
And then buy it. Support it.
Right.
Support
I feel
this
like
motherfucker.
This movie got the shit end of things, and we just gotta help out. We need more.
In the spirit of the week of E3, I would like to know your guys' favorite video game made movie. It doesn't have to be a list. Just give me your personal favorite video game made movie. I want to know. What do you got?
Or could it be a video game based off a movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
So a movie.
Anything that pertains to movies and video games, whether it goes one way or the other, it doesn't matter.
All right.
I just want to know what your guys' favorite video game made movie made out of a video game would be. And I'll drop my list on our page, same as last week. And I look forward to hearing from what everybody has to say.
I do too, even though I can tell you mine right now.
Honestly,
But I won't do it.
I'm gonna find out right after we're done recording. I can tell you too, honestly.
It's a video game based
All right,
off
drop
a
it.
movie.
Let's hear it.
Mine?
Yeah, let's hear it. What do you got?
Spider-Man 2. Amazing video game. Based off the Spider-Man 2.
I mean, that's probably the best Spider-Man game there's been.
Until this one that's about to come out.
Right.
I am
Fingers
so
crossed.
stoked for this one coming out.
Not the best movie, but guilty pleasure Mortal Kombat. I've always loved that fucking movie ever since I saw it when I was little.
I did too. I watched it a lot as a kid.
Sometimes
And I cannot watch it at this point in my life anymore. It's just bad.
It is. I know.
But
I just
I
enjoy
watched
it
the
so
shit out of
much.
it as a kid.
I
I
just-
mean, Mortal Kombat was the shit back in the fucking 90s.
I just love, like, I'll just go on Netflix. If I'm bored out of my mind, just turn on Netflix. I love it. I used to play Skyrim. I used to go around like Shang Tsung. I used to have a soul gem in Skyrim. Every time I kill somebody, your soul is mine. Just, I
fucking
enjoyed
love
the shit out of
I
that
fucking
movie.
love it. All right, Moose. You got something for us? You want to drop us a video game, movie, video game? You got a title you want to drop for us? You're a gamer.
Probably not my favorite, but I will name the worst of all time, and that is the Mario Brothers movie. Absolutely terrible.
That is a dreadful ass fucking movie.
It is, but it's good in its own right as being the shittiest movie ever.
That is true. That is fucking true. And there's a long list of shitty video game made movies made based off of video games.
Most movies off of video games are horrible.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of I think the last movie that was okay based off of a video game.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
I still haven't seen that one.
Fuck.
It's really fucking annoying because I played the game and I loved it.
Oh man, game's fantastic. Alicia Vikander did a fucking phenomenal job.
Yeah, I expected it to be good. I just never got around to seeing
Yeah,
it.
it's really fucking good. It's probably the best. That would be my pick right there. I'm going to drop it right here. You'll hear it when this episode drops. We'll also talk about it on the Facebook page as well.
All right, guys, I think that's all we've got for the week.
Until next time, this has been Movies for the People. We could have had a great thing, but Ace fucked it up. So no more Gabrielle Union boot-eating jokes from Khan.